All right, yo, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you may find yourself as you listen to this, and welcome to the only podcast with brains and bars. And tonight we're going to talk a little ish. It's another
Yeah.
episode of It's a Black and White Thing. I am your host, A1, or you can call me Carlos, or you can call me Dan, as you can see on the screen. You can check out every episode of It's a Black and White Thing by going to the podcast app of your choice. Rate, subscribe. The more you rate it, more you subscribe, more you leave comments, that allows us to be put in front of more people. You can also check out most episodes of the podcast by going to YouTube, searching Brains and Bars, subscribe, like, share. Again, the more you do that, the more faces we are in front of. And you can connect with us on social media by going to at Brains and Bars on YouTube. I'm sorry, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. As you can see, there's normally 3 of us here, but tonight there's only 2. So in their absence, I want to shout out to the homie A Ward, who you can go to iamaward.com for everything battle related, music related, merch related. Same thing for Loso, everything loso.com for everything battle, music, and merch related. This weekend, actually, A Ward is going to be in Connecticut battling a young man whose name I cannot remember. Please forgive me, sir. It's like Z-Throw or something like that. I don't know. So that's going down this weekend in Connecticut. Couple of weeks from now, Loso will be battling Vixen on Caffeine for Your World, Kings versus Queens 2. Got that going down as well. But tonight I'm not by myself. I got the homie. He's 1/3 of one of the most hilarious podcasts, one of the most real podcasts, one of the most dope podcasts around. I got the homie Rece Nickelz with me from Talk That Ish podcast. Rece, what's going on, man?
What's good, man? Appreciate you having me, man. Hey, man, before we get started, hey, where the heck did Dan come from?
All right, so story time with Uncle A1. So at my job, at the time I work in the mailroom, and at the time I wasn't managing it yet. I was still just an employee, and we used to have summer interns come in. And so we had an intern come in one time, and his name was Dan. So I take him to this group of marketing women. So we had to go pick up some stuff to be shipped out. I'm like, hey, this is Dan. Dan, here's these 3 young women. Nice to meet you, yada, 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 handshakes, whatever. So he goes back to school in the fall. And like about a month after that, I go and see them to go get some stuff to be shipped out. And they like, and I'm like, all right, this is everything. You're good. I got everything I need. Yeah, sure. Okay. Thanks, Dan. I said, you're welcome. And I walk back to the mailroom. So I tell the story. I'm like, yo, listen, they think my name is Dan. So every time you see them, when they say Dan, do not react. Don't laugh. I'm Dan. And for 6 months, every time they saw me, they called me Dan, until one day they called looking for Dan. And I wasn't in there to answer the phone. And so my old boss was like, we don't have no Dan. They're like, yeah, you do, Dan. He's like, nah, tall, black guy, glasses. He goes, Carlos? And they go, oh. And so
That is
so that's
hilarious.
why I always start the podcast off with, you can call me A1, you can call me Carlos, you can call me Dan.
Oh, man, I am changing your name in the phone, bro. You're Dan. You're
yeah,
Dan.
so that's the story. That's the story, man. But yeah, go ahead. So go ahead, introduce yourself, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Although you've been on the podcast before. We've done like NFL previews where I had all the homies on barbershop episodes. You've been on those episodes. But for those who may be getting acquainted for the first time, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Hey, man, like you said, it's your boy, Rece Nickelz, man. One of the co-hosts from Talk That Ish podcast, CEO, Amp Records, Amp Entertainment Group. And that's me, man. That's me in a nutshell, man. Like, it's your boy. Y'all can holler at me. Follow me on Twitter, Rece Nickelz. All of my other social media is deactivated, so you won't find me there as of right now. I'm on the lay low, but follow Talk That Ish podcast on Twitter. You can search Talk That Ish podcast on YouTube as well. Shout out to my other co-hosts, Be Humble, Boots, and the Los Factor, man. So yeah, Check us out. Happy to be here. Let's get it.
Yep. Shout out to Pastor Boots and Los, man. Good people. All right. So if you're new to the show, First of all, welcome. We appreciate you. But if what we normally do on the show is we start off with what I've learned for the week, and I've learned a couple of things this week, several things this week, and I'm going to start with let's start with Danny Amendola. So Danny Amendola, I learned this week that he hates Bill Belichick, no matter, or at least he's bitter towards Bill Belichick, no matter how he tries to spin it. So he's been on TV making media rounds. When you are connected with Tom Brady, when you connected with one of the GOATs, people want to come hear what you have to say and tell stories about the GOAT. But he has been taking his time to go out of the way to slander Bill Belichick every chance he gets. So he's on FS1, First Things First, right? And he talks about the Patriot way. So I want to make sure I get this right. So I'm going to quote him verbatim, right? So he says, when you see the Patriot way in the dictionary, it's going to have Tom Brady's picture next to it. None of those coaches threw any passes. None of those coaches caught any passes. None of those coaches made any tackles. They got guys in the right position because they watched a lot of film and spent all their time in the facility. But Tom Brady is the Patriot way, and that's the reason why he's in the Super Bowl and the Patriots aren't. Right. So he went on the next day to kind of clean it up a little bit and say, look, I'm not anti-Belichick. He just said, look, I had to negotiate contracts with him, and he made me take pay cuts to stay with the squad. And we put rings on his fingers. So it kind of rubbed him the wrong way. Listen, Danny, my guy, I understand. I'm pro players to get. I want everybody to get their bread, baby. Shout out to Nathan Peterman, American success story. But anyway, I digress. I want everybody to get their bread, baby. But listen, you can't be mad if you thought you was worth more. Know your worth and add tax. Don't be out here mad at Bill Belichick because he said, "Hey man, I need some of that back," right. and you was just like, "All right, cool." And you in the locker room steaming, you heated, you mad, you know what I'm saying? Because he took your bread, but that's on you. You can't be mad. And the part that I love about that is, look, the coaches ain't had nothing to do with our success. They just drew up all the plays. You know what I'm saying? They put all their time. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They just spent all their time in.
So they did their job.
Doing their job, doing what they get paid to do, man. But I mean, like, listen, Danny, man, chill. Easy on my guy Belichick. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Go seek therapy.
Dude is hurt. Like you can hear the hurt in his talking. Like bro, like the coaches, he got mad at the coaches for doing their job. Their job is to watch film and put you in the best position to make the plays. That's exactly what they did, bro. If you took a pay cut, that means you made a informed decision to take less money so you can get them rings. Because you knew if you went anywhere else, Danny, that you would have probably been like the third or the fourth receiver on the team.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, you are a champion, Danny, forever. You're a multi-millionaire, man. I get it. Again, I understand. Like, no, my boss has not come to me and asked me to take a pay cut. And they definitely hadn't asked me to take a pay cut 3 years in a row. I understand your frustration, but man, Danny, seek some help, man. Go find Bill, sit down with him. Y'all can talk it over a glass of Hennessy or something. Nah, maybe not Hennessy. You might want to fight him if you get on that hand. But you know what I'm saying? Just ease up. I
mean, we talking about Danny Emmond. Like you're not that guy. like Danny is not that guy where like if Randy Moss, even the little time he was there, came out and said this, it's Randy Moss. He can talk, he can say this type stuff. Like even what's our other guy, the slot guy?
Well, not Welker, but Julian Edelman.
Julian can say this.
Yeah.
Like, Danny, you have no room, bro. Like, whatever money they was offering you, you should have just been happy. Because since you left New England, no one has heard about you.
Man, I mean, he's been in Detroit the last couple of years, you know what I'm saying? But
has he?
I mean, but it's Detroit. It's Detroit. We'll talk about Detroit a little bit later, but it's Detroit. But so that's one of the things I learned this week. The second thing I learned this week is apparently the NBA is kind of acting like COVID is not a thing out here, and they decided to have an all-star game going down March 7th in Atlanta. And I'm like, yo, listen, I get it, right? Y'all trying to make sure that this season goes off as normal as possible, even though you don't Most places aren't allowing fans in. The ones that are allowing them very limited capacity. But it's like, yo, it's COVID out here, bro. Like, and you going to Atlanta, one of the stripper capitals of the world, where you know the players is gonna be kicking it. You know they going to dang, is it King of Diamonds to get the lemon pepper wet? Is that the one that has the Lou Williams special? I think this King of Diamonds.
I ain't
Don't
been.
quote me.
I ain't been to that one.
Don't quote me. You know what I'm saying? But they going to Atlanta to kick it. And if you have looked at the club scene in Atlanta, they like COVID. Who? It's
They don't
2 for
care,
1 drink,
bro.
They
They
like 2
don't
for 1
care.
drink specials. I ain't worried about no COVID. I'm about to go get my sip on. You know what I'm saying? So
And once that liquor hit, they ain't worried about no mask. They don't care. Like once that liquor get them, they gonna forget about everything.
Bro, they
probably
NBA
gonna get shut down because of this freaking All-Star game.
And it's like and that's what I'm saying. Like you're sending representatives from all over the country to come congregate in one spot, probably kick it recklessly, and then say, all right, cool, going back to your squads with your COVID and become a super spreader event. And for a league that the Wizards have already missed, like I think 6 or 7 games that they got to try to make up. They got to get to 72 games in order to get the TV money. Otherwise, teams or cities or networks could ask to get that money back. Like, man, y'all playing with fire. And I get it. The All-Star game is a highly rated affair. It's a highly watched affair. 3-point contest, dunk contest has been good lately. I get it. It's one of your showcase
events. Those things, man, like an All-Star game with no fans. Like if they do the 3-point or dunk contest with no fans, like nobody want to see that.
And that's the thing.
Like we straight.
And that's the thing, right? It's like shout out to Shock, but Shock was just he made a comment right before we started the show about that the NBA like it's just not the same without the fans. And this is a sport that it thrives off that energy. It thrives off that connection. And not having that connection, how you going to have an All-Star game? You got LeBron throwing, Westbrook, and he catches and does a windmill 360 dunk, and it's just like,
right.
There's no oohs and ahs. There's no sound. There's no God. Like
in the NFL with no fans or limited fans or the ones that even have no fans, you got 11 people on the field, 22 if we count them both sides. Then you got a whole sideline slew of people because each team has 53 total people on it, and then the coaching staff. So you're still hearing some type of cheering when you do something cold. When you just got 9 people or so on each bench and a couple of coaches, bro.
It sound like rec league.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it just sounds.
It sounds like the gym when we used to go hoop on Sundays.
That's what it sounds like. And I mean, like. And on one end, that's kind of dope. It's kind of cool to be able to have that kind of feel to it. Just like it's like taking it back to the essence a little bit, right?
Right.
Because it is still a game, but at the same time, we need to get. To me, I don't want to say baseball because baseball is so centered on the player, on the interaction between pitcher, catcher, batter. Then the ball gets hit, and then you're kind of watching the action from there, especially from a broadcast standpoint. But from a broadcast standpoint, like as someone who enjoys college basketball, I've struggled to watch it and get into it. Same thing with the NBA. And I'm NBA greater than NFL guy. You know what I'm saying? But it has been a struggle at times to watch these games because it's just like you said, it's not the same, bro. Yeah, you need to see when LeBron hits this top of the key 3 to ice the game. Like you need for him when he's being demonstrative and doing his thing. You need to see the crowd pointing at him, clapping, cheering, yelling, booing, whatever. And it just loses a little bit without that, man. So, Adam, listen, reconsider, read some literature on the subject, bro. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Chill out.
Adam, you're smarter than this, bro. Like, you've been the best commissioner in all sports since you've been in, bro. Like, don't do this.
Man. But, yo, that's what I learned this week, man. Let us know what you learned by going to our social media on Facebook, Twitter, IG. Let us know what you learned this week. We'll be love to hear from you. But right now, normally we would do what A Ward is looking forward to, what Loso is looking forward to. But I believe in cross promotion, especially when I got the homies on who are doing their thing. So at this time, I want to switch it up a little bit, and we're gonna do Is You Rolling? Now I feel bad because I don't have the record. I don't have the song on.
It's all.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
should have had it ready. That's my fault. I
nah,
should have had it ready. Normally, Boots is over all that type of stuff. I could have had it keyed up and ready. I didn't have it. That's my
and
fault.
I should have hit B up and like, yo, B, man, slide me that record, man. I need that for the night. So that's on me. That's all right. That's all right.
It's all
But
right.
you know, Is You Rolling on Talk That Dish podcast is where they basically they'll bring up a scenario and they'll simply ask the question, is you rolling? And you get to decide, is you rolling or not? So I got a scenario I'm gonna bring forth. And it revolves around Brett Favre, right? So Brett Favre, he's been in the news cycle a lot lately. He talked about when Mahomes got the concussion, about how Mahomes shouldn't have played in the game because, you know, he's got to think about his future. He's talked a little bit about the Jared Goff trade. I think he's made some comments regarding Aaron Rodgers. And now he's talking about Deshaun Watson, who has demanded a trade or requested a trade from the Houston Texans. So again, I want to make sure I get this right. So the quote says, and I quote, "You get paid a ton of money to do a certain job and just do it and let the chips fall where they may. I think we make too much money to voice an opinion, but I'm not saying he's wrong. Again, I think there's a different day and time, and it would be interesting to see how the organization handles it." So I'm going to ask you, Rece Nickelz, is you rolling? Should NFL players not voice their opinions?
Man, hell no. I am not. I am not rolling with that. Like, bro, first of all, these players retire, and definitely the ones that don't go into broadcast. And I think they get to a point where they're still trying to find themselves to be relevant some way, somehow. Like, I think that's really what it's about. No one was talking about Brett Favre. Nobody's checking for him. Like, and now he comes out saying all of these things to get attention. Like, yeah. People that know me know I'm a diehard Chiefs fan, but right after the Chiefs, I'm all Packers. Like, so I'm a Brett Favre fan. I like Brett Favre. I love all the touchdowns and hate all the interception. That's another story. But to say a player, like, you can't say all of that, what he said, and then gonna say, but I ain't mad at him, no, or I ain't saying he's wrong. You just said he was wrong in everything you stated before that, bro. So it's almost like shut up and dribble. Like that's how I felt when I heard him say like yesterday. I was like, he's basically telling Deshaun, shut up and throw the ball, shut up and play. Like, you took this extension, shut up. Like, no, the Texas organization is trash. And he's like, man, here my career is going down the drain because I got a trash owner who hired a trash coach who was a trash GM who traded away my best target ever and replaced it with Brandon Cooks. And y'all want me to shut up? Like, nah. Like should players not voice? No, they get paid millions to voice their opinions. They don't. They get paid millions because, and they should have a right to be able. I ain't saying like, hey, you signed a contract. You know, he made the decision to do that. But once they stop not living up to their side of things too, like, man, you got to voice it.
Yeah, and that's what I don't understand. Like, and I guess it's kind of like I've seen people obviously jump on him and talk about the few times that he requested a trade when he didn't like the way things were going. He wanted to have Randy Moss come to the Packers when he was with Oakland. They didn't act on it. He ends up going to New England, almost winning the championship there. And so he was unhappy. He demanded a trade. He requested a trade. And like, it's your career. Like, I don't understand I understand that it's a business. You sign a contract, and in most cases, both parties will honor that contract, right? Like Deshaun Watson, and under any other normal circumstances, not under threat of being released because of bad performances and not living up to his contract. Like, he's a guy who's going to be a leader in your locker room. He's going to ball out on Sundays, and he's going to be a great guy in the community, right? Those are you want this guy on your team.
Right.
But at the same time, like you said, he's looking around and he's like, yo, like, y'all, like you said, you got rid of my number one guy. I was stuck here with Bill O'Brien, who, I mean, granted, I don't know how he feels about Bill O'Brien and his ability to lead a team and coach a team. I'm pretty sure he hates him as a GM. But as a coach, who knows how he feels about him. And then you got this guy, Jack Easterby, which, again, shout out to Jack Easterby, the king of the finesse. I got to salute you when you go from preacher to executive vice president, man. I got to shout out to your hustle. Like, you deserve your props. But you got this guy that you don't believe in, who is overseeing a culture that you feel is not for you.
Right.
So I get it. You signed the deal, and I've seen a whole lot of people, and I hate that anytime an athlete, requests to be traded or wants out of a situation, people always want to jump on it. Well, you signed a contract. How about honoring your contract? Well, again, if he wasn't living up to that contract, they would try
They
to
would
take
get rid
some
of
money
him.
back. Yeah, or they would get rid of him or trade him. I mean, listen, matter of fact, I'm gonna hold that. I keep wanting to jump to Jared Goff. We're gonna get there, but I mean, it's a business. It's a business, and you have to understand that this relationship is a two-way street. It's not, well, it's all about the team one day until it's not, and it's not, well, I'm gonna do me team, and y'all just got to deal with it. It's a mutual relationship, and it's a relationship of mutual benefit. And if one party,
the moment either side sees that it's not benefiting them, like the owners is okay to make a decision if it's not benefiting them, but the player is just supposed to shut up and take it. I'm like, nah, like the moment that the owner is like, or the GM is like, this ain't benefiting me, we're done. They're cool with it. But the one moment the players say this ain't benefiting me, everybody like, no, just shut up and play. You signed the contract. Or you hear the talk out there, he just signed the extension. Why would he sign the extension if he wasn't happy? Because look what happened to Dak Prescott. So when you get an extension, you gonna sign it because you got to protect your future. But at the same time, when he signed that extension, he probably thought he was gonna still have some players getting put around him. So, then the owner has to take ownership. The owner can't, like, it ain't like Deshaun Watson went to the owner. It's like, I need to pick the coach. I need to be in on this. The owner went to him and said, hey man, I want your opinion. I'm gonna have you involved in who our next GM, who our next coach is, and I want you to have great input in that. And then you go totally opposite and do totally against what you said. So it's like, if that's the case, can't be mad at Deshaun for that.
Yep, absolutely. And so I'll ask you this, and you tell me what you think. So week 1, 2021-22 season, because, and let me set it up a little bit better. So Nick Caserio has come out and said that they do not want to trade Deshaun Watson. They want to keep him on the roster. They want to try to work this out. All right. So with that kind of being as the setup, week 1, 2021 season, Deshaun Watson is wearing a Texans uniform. Yes or no?
No.
All right. So where do you think he is in 2021? Where do you think he's playing ball?
My thought is going to be either the San Francisco 49ers or the Washington football team.
You heard? Listen. I just saw this meme today. Lord, I seen what you've done for others. I pray that you would do the same for me.
If he goes to San Francisco, bro, like y'all have to turn into Super Bowl favorites for the NFC. Y'all have to. Like,
I mean, I don't see why not. Like, I think that with Debo, with Kittle, Jeff Will. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying his name, but Jeff Wilson Jr. at running back, Raheem Mostert at running back, Brandon Ayuk, who seems like he's gonna be really nice at wide receiver.
Yeah.
Getting back to Bosa. I mean, they have some work to do in the secondary because a lot of Richard Sherman won't be back. I think Jaquiski Tartt, I don't think he'll be back. So they got to rebuild a little bit on the back end of the defense, but you get Bosa back. And that right there is going to be that's a huge benefit and bonus having him back on that edge. So yeah, man.
Garoppolo. So like, if they got there with Garoppolo, they can definitely do that more with Deshaun. I think because I think Deshaun is fully prepared to sit out if he doesn't get traded. Yeah. And I think because of that factor, because of the no trade clause in his contract and all of that he holds a lot of the leverage. And like, Houston has to make the decision. Either we gonna pay him or we gonna get something for him. Like, what do you do with him sitting on the bench and you ain't got nothing for him? like, what do you do at that point? Like, you have to get something for him, or you just screwed. Like I
Yes.
would say the Jets or the Jags because they got a lot to offer, but I really just don't see Houston trying to. I think they try their best to get him out the AFC.
I mean, I would, and shout out to my uncle who's in the comments. He said we need to hear from Watson himself, not the agent, and a lot of this is speculation from other people. I disagree. Like this is what you pay your agent for, right? To be the bad guy, to be the mouthpiece, to be the guy who's going to speak on your behalf. Like he's paying him handsomely for that. So I think his name is David Mugaleta. I hope I'm saying his last name right. But like there have been reports coming out, and David has come out like on Twitter to say, to refute, because I think there was a report that came out that Deshaun was willing to hold out of training camp, miss games, and miss checks if he's not traded. And David said, according to sources close to me, I have not heard that, So
right.
Mulgeta. Okay, shout out to 83 Mulgeta. I appreciate that. We'll see what happens on that issue. Y'all let us know what you think. Will Deshaun Watson be in the Texans uniform to start the season? If not, give us your best guesses on where he's going to go. Now, we won't spend too much time on this next topic, but we'll touch on it a little bit. Speaking of the business side of football. So just last week, I talked about how, that the Rams are treating Jared Goff like a relationship where they were done with it. They weren't fooling with it no more. They were out. And I made the analogy of him seeing Sean McVay's phone on Instagram and his search tab with Aaron Rodgers, with Matt Stafford, and going, what's going on? That came true. He was traded, I think, the next day after that came out. And he goes to Detroit. In return, they get Matt Stafford. Jared Goff goes to Detroit. Bunch of draft picks also goes that way. And listen, so from a lifestyle perspective, not a football perspective, if I'm Jared Goff, I'm heated. Now listen, Detroit, obviously it is a great city. Depending on your political sensibilities, you love Detroit because of the vote that came through out of that city from Black people. But listen, it's still Detroit, fam. Like, no disrespect to the great city of Detroit. No disrespect. I love y'all. Y'all great people. But yo, I'm leaving LA where the weather is always great. You know what I'm saying? I'm by the beach. I got the LA lifestyle, and now I'm living in Detroit where it's like I don't know what the weather is, but I'm pretty sure it's cold. I'm pretty sure snow is on the way. And like, here's the thing: like Jared Goff is from LA, like he played ball at Cal, like he's never left the West Coast, and now he's going to be out here in the Midwest. So welcome. You'll hate the weather, but Detroit is a cool city, man. So your thoughts on Goff going from NFC West to NFC North?
I mean, if I'm Goff, like I hate the trade. Like, of course he comes out like it's just happy to be somewhere that wanted me. I'm like, did they really want you, or did they just find someone suitable to dump Matt Stafford and get those picks? Like, I don't think it was too much about Goff more than it was honoring what their wishes was between them and Matt and getting those number one picks. Like, I think it was more about that than Jared Goff. Jared Goff was like, we'll plug you in here so we can have you for a little while so we ain't just bleeding at quarterback so we can make it look like we're at least trying to win. But no, like he has to hate it. Like, nobody wants to go from California to Detroit, Michigan. I'm sorry. No offense, but it is.
Hey, man. Hey, listen, Detroit, chill. I promise we love y'all. Chill, easy. I promise we do. But yeah, man, like
Detroit is almost like going to Cleveland, the Browns, like you go there your career doesn't go anywhere there. Like Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson is mad at Matt Stafford. Like, how'd you get out?
Man.
What did you say to get out?
And not only how did you get out, but how did you get them to agree to send you to a soft landing spot?
Right.
Like he didn't have no trade clause. He could have went anywhere. And they said, hey, we got you. We gonna take care of you on your way out the door. And I mean, shout out to them. He goes to the NFC. And I'll ask you this because I think the Vegas odds at the conclusion of the trade had the Rams as the third the third favorite and the second NFC team after Green Bay. So the Chiefs are still number one, obviously. Then number two are the Packers, and then three are the Rams. Like, do you think that they should be in out of the entire league that they are the third best team from a gambling perspective, right? Are they the third best odds to win a chip after Kansas City and Green Bay?
Man, I can see why they're there. I wouldn't put them third. Like, I think, like, I got to see a little bit more of Matt Stafford and what McShay can do with him before I just like bolt him through the top. Because when you look side by side numbers, Matt Stafford and Jared Goff's numbers are very similar. So it's like, do I think Matt Stafford is the better quarterback? Absolutely. He's going some of those throws that Jared Goff misses, he's going to hit. He has good receivers around him, a decent running game, and I mean, we all know a hell of a defense there with the Rams. Are they up there top five? I'll say yes. With Matt Stafford, I think that puts them top five. But it's hard to just discount the Buccaneers as long as Brady's playing and long as all those weapons is there. And then even though we know they'll disappoint us, it's hard to discount the Saints if Drew Brees comes back.
Yeah.
Which I don't think he will, but
yeah, right. I was gonna say Drew.
Yeah, Drew, like that last game, bro, just kind of,
Yeah, it's been a good run.
But who knows if what the Saints can still do without Brees. They found ways to win while Brees was out this year. It wasn't pretty.
I mean, look, man, if Jameis has somehow found a way to improve his decision making and his accuracy, the Saints are going to be a problem because they got weapons.
I think coaches help with that. I think he can help with that, man. I really think that Sean Payton can help turn Jameson around.
Man, we'll see. Man, y'all let us know what y'all think about the Rams and Jared Goff being traded. Does this make the Rams NFC or title, not just NFC title contenders, but title contenders for the entire league? I'll say this about Detroit. I think it's great for them to get all those picks. I think it's great. It'll be a good opportunity for them to rebuild and try to create something from the rubble of the Matt Patricia era. And so it's a great start. And I'll add this. I know a lot of people talk about, the Rams, they're mortgaging their future by sending all these picks. They don't have a first-round draft pick until 2024, I believe it is. They've gone 7 years without a first-round draft pick. And my thing is like, these are lottery tickets. Like, getting a first-round draft pick does not guarantee success. Getting a first-round draft pick does not guarantee that this is going to be the thing that turns your team around. Like, people miss on sure things, what we consider to be sure things all the time. Like, San Francisco doesn't get as much flack for passing on Mahomes and Watson, but they had the third overall pick. Matter of fact, they had the number 2 pick. They traded back from 2 to 3. Chicago jumped up and grabbed Trubisky, and they took Solomon Thomas. And Solomon Thomas didn't work. Like, they declined his 5th-year option. He tore his ACL. He's not going to be in a San Francisco uniform. Imagine if they had said, we're going to use the 3rd overall pick on Watson, or we're going to use the 3rd overall pick on Mahomes. Like, we're talking about a completely different franchise at that point. So, again, if you can trade a number 1, now, granted, I didn't think Matt Stafford was worth number 1 picks, and I'm glad that the 49ers didn't give those for Matt Stafford, because the reality is this. I get it, it's Detroit. They've been crappy, but Matt Stafford has only been to, I think, 1 playoff game, maybe 2, and I don't think he's ever won a playoff game. Or if he did, he's only won 1. So, I mean, like, the reality is that we don't.
I thought he's going to go for some seconds, honestly.
Yeah, I thought either second or 3rd, right? Or maybe 2 2s and a 3 or something like that. So, like, I need to see Matt Stafford in a stable situation, in a franchise that's going to make multiple playoff runs before I just go, oh yeah, that they're better than Bucks right now, or they're equal to the Packers, or they could give the Chiefs a run for their money. I need to see it before I believe it.
I agree. So, like, I feel like first-round draft picks are overrated. Like, you can hit big, of course you can. But when you talk about 32 draft picks, if you talk about the 32 first-round draft picks of last year, like, you probably can only name 4 to 5, maybe 6 that really had an impact this year. And if you look at the draft before that, somebody that's still having an impact 2 years later, like it's a lot of swings and it's a lot of misses in that first round pick. So if you could trade your couple of first round picks for a star, like I would give up 3 first round picks for Deshaun Watson in a heartbeat.
Fact.
In a heartbeat, easy. Like it wouldn't even be a second thought. Like here you go, because that he turns your whole team around.
Absolutely.
So I'm just like, I don't. People be like, oh, 3. Now that much for Matt Stafford was an overpayment in my opinion. But
so apparently, part of that overpayment was because they needed it was Goff's contract, right? It was the contract is why they had to have those extra first round pick. But I'm like, yo, Matt Stafford, like I said, I don't think he feel like he was worthy of not just one first round pick, let alone multiple. So I want to hit on something you said. You talked about hits from this year's NFL draft, right? I think Joe Burrow's a hit.
Absolutely.
I think Chase Young is obviously a hit.
Yep.
Justin Herbert hit. Jedrick Wills, Mekhi Becton, Tristan Wirfs. These are all offensive linemen. I think all of those guys have proven to be have promising starts.
Was Jefferson first round?
Who's that?
Was Jefferson first round?
Justin, yes, he went 8th. Yeah, he went 22nd. 22nd to Minnesota. Yep. So CeeDee Lamb, another guy who I feel like has shown some good things. Brandon Ayuk from the Niners, I feel like he's shown good things. Patrick Queen, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like I mean, so these are just like I just named about maybe 10.
Yeah, so that's a nice draft.
Yeah, that's a nice start for these guys, and we'll see where they go, right? I mean, I think Justin Jefferson might have been like a second team All-Pro, I think, in his rookie season.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think and Chase Young, I'm probably made the Pro Bowl. I'm trying to see on Wiki what this so there were Pro Bowlers for sure, but I think Justin Jefferson was a second team All-Pro in his first year. So I mean, it's a great start for that class. But like you said, these are lottery tickets. You don't know what you're going to get, and we'll see. We'll see where this class goes from here. But I've always been a fan of the sure thing, right? So the Rams traded for Jalen Ramsey. That's a sure thing. Like that's an All-Pro going to be
the whole way you can play a defense. Because he locked down his side.
Fam. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I mean, we'll see what happens on that front and what the fortunes of those two teams. But let's go ahead and jump into this Super Bowl, man. Super Bowl going down this Sunday. Chiefs, Bucks. I think it's gonna be a good one. I think it's gonna be an interesting game. But I want to start by asking you this question, because I had a Twitter war with shout out to the homie Loso, shout out to Jared Sanders. We had a big back and forth about Brady. How would you rate Brady's play this year?
Beginning of the year, I would say first half average at best. Mm-hmm. Like beginning of the year, like I was really like, dang, Brady should have retired. Like Brady's looking done. And I think he kind of settled in, finally started getting a rhythm. I think really coaching finally started letting him do what he does instead of trying to control what he does. And, Brady started just kind of doing stuff that Brady can do. I give Brady a B. I give him a B for this year overall.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you listen to the show, first of all, go to the podcast app of your choice or YouTube. You can listen to more in depth on my thoughts on Brady this year, the GOAT that I compared him to. So I won't bore you with that. But so let me ask you this: if Tampa were to win on Sunday, what's the one thing we'll be talking? The one thing that got them that victory will be what? What'll be the big story from that game if Tampa wins?
I mean, of course, everybody's going to make it about Brady if Tampa wins. Brady can have a horrible game, and if they win, all we're going to hear about is Brady's 7th ring. But I think if Tampa is to win, it's because their defensive front was so disruptive that it just messed up the Chiefs' offensive line. And Mahomes is just under duress all day, and it just messes up everything. So I think if Tampa's to win, that has to be the story. Of course, it's going to be Brady. Brady can suck and have 3 picks, and the story's going to still be that Brady got his 7th win because the media loves Tom Brady.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think, man, yeah, the media, if Tampa wins, they're going to leave. It's going to be a Brady love fest. But I think if I had to point to anything, I want to say it's going to be not the pass rush from JPP and from Shaq Barrett, and this kind of leads into the next part of the discussion. But I think it's going to be the push from the interior line,
So it's
because I think they're
and Sue.
yeah, I think it's going to be Vita and Sue. Like, I think it's going to be them pushing back that pocket, and then the outside guys containing, so that when Mahomes tries to get outside the pocket, tries to make things happen, they can kind of play cleanup. But I think if that's going to be the thing, and listen, the Chiefs, not that they run the ball a lot anyway, but I think they're going to try to make life even tougher for them when trying to run the ball, whether that's inside the tackles, outside the tackles. But we'll see how the Chiefs can navigate that. But to me, that'll be the big story.
Yeah.
At least for me, that'll be the big takeaway from me. So I'm
That's
gonna
the
ask
most interesting part for me is to see how we handle their pass rush, because I think they can get pressure with just the four. If we're able to slow down that four and make them have to blitz, it's curtains.
man. And I think the scary thing from like the offensive line of the Chiefs standpoint is, like, I have always, so with Mike Remmers, before I knew he was a Kansas City Chief, my first thought of him is him getting obliterated by Von Miller in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like he could not protect Von Miller. He was overmatched the entire game. Von Miller had 2.5 sacks. It was ugly. It was ugly, including the strip fumble that essentially ended the game. Right. And so I'm thinking, yo, left tackle Mike Remmers going against, Jason Pierre-Paul for 4 quarters, who maybe isn't Von Miller, but he's still good.
He's still good. He's not Von, but he's still
Yeah. And so, like, I guess that's the thing that really concerns me.
My
So
thing
I
is,
mean,
when I look at overall, because the Packers left tackle was starting left tackle was out last game, and they had a backup, and JPP was handling them. Now I think they ended up with 4 sacks, but the Packers still, in a sense, besides those 2 drives after those turnovers, moved the ball with ease. Like Aaron Rodgers marched up and down the field. So it's like they gave up 4 sacks, but the Packers still moved the ball with ease, with deep shots and all that, with limited weapons. Like, if Aaron Rodgers and the Packers receivers can move the ball up the field despite the pass rush, surely the Chiefs can too.
Yeah. Okay.
You got a better coach that's going to scheme better. You're looking at a better quarterback, in a sense. I rate Rodgers and Mahomes kind of in the same bubble. And for far as skill positions on the outside, the Chiefs got to get the notch there. And the fact that you got Travis in the middle of the field doing whatever he want to do, and the Billy, like, if we have a healthy Sammy, that pass rush to me ain't gonna mean nothing.
Okay. Yeah. Shout out to Sammy. Hopefully he can come back. So I'm gonna ask this question, and outside of the big names, so we're talking Brady, Mahomes, Hill, Kelsey for the Chiefs, Jones, Matthew. I'll stop there at the big names. And then for the Tampa wide receivers, Godwin, Brown, Evans, Gronk, Brady. Defense, I mean, we kind of already named the names, but the linebackers, Barrett, White, Levante David, JPP. So I'm taking all those names off the board. The most important player outside of those names on Sunday is who?
For the Chiefs, I'm going to say L'Jarius Sneed and Juan Thornhill.
Good picks.
I think both of them, if L'Jarius can lock down the slide like he's been doing and bring that pressure off the inside from the nickel blitz, I think he gets disruptive. If Juan can show like he played last game, if he's back to Juan Thornhill from pre-injury like he showed he was last game, over the top, I think we do good. Only other thing I think besides that, which is hard for me to say this, but Dirty Dan is gonna be has to be big. Like, Lick Spags, if you're listening to me, my man, do not put Dirty Dan 1-on-1 with Gronk. Please. Or break. No tight ends on the Buccaneers should Dirty Dan be with in man coverage.
Or Neiman.
Oh, my God. I don't even understand why Neiman's still on this team yet, but that's another story for another day. But I think on that side, them on the Buck side, Fournette or Jones.
Yeah.
I think the ability to run the ball gets big for them. If they can run the ball, consistently, we got problems. And then on defense, what's the safety that missed last game? The rookie, is it
Antoine Winfield Jr.
Winfield. Yeah, I think he's a game changer. So I think that's who I would look for. That's not necessarily. Again, Winfield is kind of a big name, but since he's a rookie, we'll give him a little cut. But I think Winfield and then the Bucks running game.
Yeah, and I think you probably hit on all the names that I would have singled out. I've already mentioned Vita Vea and Dominican Sue. I guess he's kind of a big name, but I think it's Jamel Dean. I think it's a young man's name. There might be a basketball player I'm confusing his name with, but I think him on the other side of Carlton Davis. Carlton Davis is going to be a big one. Like how they choose to slow down Hill and Kelsey. Hopefully they don't put Carlton Davis in single coverage again with no help over the top.
If they didn't learn from last game, like what more can you learn from?
It's gonna be ugly if they try to single cover him again. But yeah, I just think that. Well, and I'll throw out Scotty Miller. He made a little bit of headlines by saying that he could beat Tyreek Hill 1-on-1. Yeah. But I think that's somebody. He's a speedy guy, and
you run a 4-3. You got a right to be confident.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's another name that we'll have to look out for. Now, I think you hit on the names for the Chiefs for me. I think Clyde is a name that could be sneaky, especially he didn't get a lot of burn in the AFC title game, but he's coming back from an injury. And if this extra 2 weeks has allowed him to get to 90%, 95%, I think that'll be something that is a huge plus for the Chiefs, their ability to use him in the passing game and his ability. Like the thing that I love about Clyde is just his vision. Like he can be. I know Chiefs fans have gotten on Le'Veon because he seems to be kind of pity patting back there and he's not really making anything happen. But like Clyde is able to kind of at times do that pity pat thing and then emerge on the other side of a hole that, at least from the broadcast angle, right, you can't see because he's able to get that burst and able to get through there quickly. So I think like those are the guys that for me like that aren't like big names.
Breland has to have a big game too. Like him and Ward, like if they can play anywhere near what they played last week, definitely going up against somebody like Scotty Miller because we don't have a lot of speed on the outside, so we got to be physical, and not let what happened to the Packers at the end of the half happen to us.
Bro, I don't. Man,
I don't know
why are you going?
I don't know what your whole thing is not letting somebody get behind you. That's all you got to do in that scenario.
I know Spags is going to be smarter than not playing man coverage with 8 seconds left. Like there's no, why are you playing man coverage to begin with to start? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I think you hit on everything, or at least the names that I had in mind. So kind of last question before predictions. Like, what will you be looking for as you watch the game? Like, what kind of keys or what major things are you looking for on both sides of the ball from each team?
I mean, definitely starting on the Chiefs. I'm looking for how we handle up front. How do we make up for not having two starting? It ain't even that we got 2 new tackles. Like, our whole line is makeshift. So how do we make up for that? Does Pat go back to dropping crazy deep, like to try to give himself more time? Like, does Andy Reid focus first on getting the ball out of his hands quick and using our running backs a little bit more in the pass game to slow down that pass rush? A lot of more screens and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking for. How healthy is Sammy? That's one big thing. I think you got to double Kelsey. You got to put somebody over top for Hill. I think Sammy's really the only receiver we got after that from a route running standpoint that can get separation if he's covered 1-on-1. I think no cornerback on the Bucks can cover a healthy Sammy 1-on-1. So I think that's what I'll be looking for from on the Bucks. it's really how do you play Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce? What do you do with that? You know, how do you cover those two? How healthy is AB? I think that becomes a big thing. Like, does he play? If he is, how effective will he be? And how Tom Brady handles the pressure up the middle. I think Jones is going and we already know Frank shows up in these type of games. He'll disappear for you all season, but playoff Frank is a real thing. So how how Brady handles that pressure, because the Chiefs have been good at getting pressure, but they've been playing against people that can get away. So, you know, Josh Allen was escaping. You know, we've been playing against the teams where the quarterback can make a little move. We know that ain't Brady. You know, so hopefully they don't get caught by that little shoulder shimmy that Frank Clark was talking about he do. so hopefully they don't get caught by that. But how Brady handles the pressure, you know, of course we know he's going to be amazing at reading the defense. But if you can get to Brady, which Spags has been known to be able to disrupt him. So, you know, the adjustment, I'm going to pay attention probably to just the adjustment. I think it's going to be a game of adjustments. And that's why I think, you know, I'll wait for the predictions. So yeah, that's what I'm watching for.
All right, so I'm on the same wavelength. I think for me, like, I think offensively, I mean, it's going to be. There are very few teams that said they have been able to stop Patrick Mahomes for a full game or shut him down for a full game. So he's going to get his. I think we talked about in the group. I said, you know, the best way to one of the keys to beating the Chiefs is your defense has to bend but don't break, and by bend but don't break, I mean, the Chiefs offense is going to have you bending like a Cirque du Soleil performer, right? Like you're going to be wondering like, yo, how did he get his foot? Like if that kind of bend but don't break. And by that, you want them to kick field goals, not at least in the, so I think I posted a stat in there that said that in the playoffs, 80% of red zone of time, 80% of red zone drives where the Chiefs make it to the 20 and in, they've converted in points. But most of those have been touchdowns. If you can make them kick field goals, 2 to 3 field goals in the red zone, that was part of how the game didn't end up getting out of hand the first time. They got a turnover, they made them kick field goals, and then they were able to get touchdowns and make the score a little bit closer than it really seemed. So if you can do that, and really it's going to be the Chiefs secondary. Like this is going to be. They have in the playoffs, the Chiefs defense has stepped up, especially the secondary, but they're going to be stressed because what are you going to do with Gronk? Who's going to match up with him? And when you go single coverage, Scotty Miller is kind of low on the totem pole, but Antonio Brown's going to be back. Right. You got Godwin, you got Mike Evans. Like as much as people talk about the weapons that Mahomes has and like, it's not fair. Like, bruh, this is the best core in the league.
Easy.
Like maybe they haven't always put up, but I mean, you got like 5 mouths to feed. Like everybody can't eat all at once. Like somebody's going to have a better game than somebody else. But I mean, how do they slow down that passing attack? And the key about Brady that I think is so real is, and you mentioned it, like Brady now, and this is part of where I feel like he's aged. When that pressure gets to him, and sometimes instead of just eating a sack, like he'll throw one up.
Yeah.
Like that Packers game, he had 2 passes. One was picked off, and a part of that, three turnovers and 3 straight drives. But the one before the last pass before the touchdown to Scotty Miller
should have been.
He threw it up. He threw it up and had the DB got his head around and saw the ball in the air like it was an arm punt. And the safety almost got there. He was maybe a half a yard and a half away from picking that pass off. So Brady's going to, at some point in this game, he's going to throw one up because the pressure will get home. And he, instead of just protecting the ball, he's going to throw it up. Will the Chiefs be able to convert when that happens? So, I mean, I think
I'm going to be watching too, man, because if the Chiefs get down, like Chiefs get down, you see Mahomes start trying to press.
Yep.
And you kind of seen that in the Super Bowl last year. Like he was trying to make something happen instead of letting the game come to him. And I think you hit on it yesterday when we were talking yesterday. Just like that's the way to beat the Chiefs is when they get down, Mahomes starts trying to make those shots. So I want to see him stay poised enough, to and we know he can, but some of his interceptions you see him throw, it's like he was taking a chance and he knew he was taking a chance and was a little too confident, like I can get this through there, And it was like, no, you can't. You
Yep.
know, so seeing how both of the quarterbacks handle the pressure, you know, making sure Mahomes don't take no 30-yard drops like Josh Allen was doing last week and trying to get out of something. Like, just throw the ball away, live another down. If Brady turns the ball over like he did against the Packers against us, it's a wrap.
Yeah, there's no way you're going to give the Chiefs 3 cracks at getting points on the board, and they not come away with at least 10 points, if not 21 or 17.
And if we down there like that on the 4th down, the ball will be in Mahomes' hand. Andy Reid is not kicking that field goal. So,
yeah. All right, so let's go into predictions. Who you got? I mean, we already know who you got, but what do you think the final score will be?
I'm going to say 35-21 Chiefs.
So you think it's not going to be close?
Yeah, I think it starts off nice, like first quarter kind of back and forth, maybe like 7-14 coming out the first quarter. Then I think the Chiefs go on one of their scoring sprees, put up like 3 in a row, and then Brady will do a little comeback with 2 touchdowns, and we put up a couple, then ice it, So I think it's going to be a tale of like first quarter close. Second quarter, we start running away. Third quarter, we battle a little bit again. Then I think they know they can't play around. That's my thought process. I think the Chiefs know, Mahomes know. Like, that's some stuff you can get away. The defense knows. That's some stuff you can get away with some quarterbacks and play around all that. Tom Brady ain't the one you mess around with. Like, you guys to kill him. You guys to step on his neck when he's down. Because if they see that the first game we played him, we smacking him. And you give Tom Brady some glimmer of hope, let him get into a rhythm, you get in trouble. It just so happened to be we got the ball last and was able to keep him off the field. Like, I don't want to see it come down to that. I don't think the Chiefs do either. I think Mahomes is out to have something to prove. This is magic, passing the torch to Jordan. It's that time. This is a defining moment for his career. So I think the Chiefs handle it kind of not easily, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be a tall task.
Okay. All right. So when I'm thinking about this matchup last week and thinking about who I was going to pick, I was worried for Kansas City. We talked about, you've mentioned that the offensive line is missing 4 of its original projected opening day starters before opt-outs and injuries and all that stuff. Again, I had flashbacks of Mike Rimmers trying to stop, an elite pass rusher. You got Andrew Wiley going from guard to left tackle or right tackle. I'm sorry. It's just Nick Allegretti is a rookie, right? Like, he's a rookie.
I think he's like 1 year. I don't think he's a rookie.
Or second year. He was a rookie last year. So Austin Reeder or Ryder. So like I was sincerely concerned, and I had flashbacks to last year's Super Bowl. And if the 49ers had somehow gotten Tom Brady in a San Francisco uniform, the Chiefs would not be defending champions, because Tom Brady would have made sure that when he got the ball up 10, that they kill some clock, that they get another field goal to make it, now you need 2 touchdowns to win, right? Like, he would have gotten the job done over Garoppolo, in my opinion. And so my fear is that for one game, they're going to be able to get home. Mahomes is not going to, his eyes are going to start going from down the field to looking at the pocket, looking at the rush, taking 15-yard drops, all these things, right? And so I came in here ready to pick against the Chiefs. Ready to pick Tom Brady, even though I don't want to hear all the nauseating, he's the GOAT, he's the greatest of all time. Mahomes will never catch him. Shout out to Tony Mo. And at 43 years old, oh my God, this is just so crazy.
Right.
And so I sat. Thankfully, I had a week to sit and think about it some more. So I've thought about it some more, and I started thinking about, okay, Andy Reid, he's a GOAT when it comes to having an extra week of preparation, coming off a bye week, if you will, which is just kind of a bye week with it being a 2-week layoff. You got the enemy. You have Spags, who has had lots of success against Brady. You have the best quarterback in the game by far, who should be the MVP of the league, by the way. Aaron, is this your king? Aaron Rod, this is your king. Like, I didn't say it last week, but this is your king, right? The guy who's supposed to be the most talented quarterback of all time. And I get it, right? I mean, it's not just him, it's the team. Equanimous St. Brown drops a 2-point pass.
Plenty of times to win. Like, Aaron has to get that done last week.
He's got to get it done, though, especially off of 3 turnovers. And they only ended up – did they even get any points off those turnovers?
None of them.
So I sat and thought, okay, Mahomes' foot is getting better. Clyde's coming back. L'Jarius comes off of concussion protocol. And I'm going, okay. There are very few times I picked against this Chiefs team during this run. Last year's Super Bowl was one of them. The AFC title game last week was another one because I wasn't sure about Mahomes' foot. I'm not doing it again. I think the Chiefs are going to go back-to-back. They're going to etch their name in the pantheon of the great teams of all time. And I think they're going to win this game 34-24. I hate to even say that because I guess until the AFC title game, the Chiefs hadn't covered the spread in like forever. But so the spread's only 3. I think the Chiefs get it done, and I think they're back-to-back champions. And at this point, you can start talks of dynasty at this point. If they pull off a second one, 2 back-to-back Super Bowls, 3 AFC title games in a row, you got to start talking dynasty. Maybe that might be a little bit early, but the implications: are we looking at the start of a dynasty?
Yeah.
We're looking at the start of a dynasty.
Championships back-to-back and 2 Super Bowls, making it back-to-back. If you win the Super Bowl, you have to talk about it.
Yeah.
And one more. I got to shout out because I think I forgot about when we were saying players. I think Darrell Williams will be big this game. Simply for his ability to run straight ahead and tack, get the tough yards, but more for his pass protection.
Okay. Shout out to 4.5. I think he said he run a 4.5, and I make fun of Darrell Williams because it looks like Darrell Williams is running in slow. It feels like it's like, yo, the hole is there now. Hit it now. Oh, there's a hole. Okay, cool. And somehow he's still getting 5 or 6 yards.
You're right.
Shout out to Darrell Williams. I don't know how he gets it done, but he gets the job done. Like he's like that old beater. Like it's like your car to get you to point A to point B. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know, I got there this morning, but he made it.
Yeah. So y'all let us know what y'all think, man. Who y'all got? Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, IG. Who y'all got in the Super Bowl? What do you think the final score would be? So we got one last thing. We're about to get out of here. So I can't remember who tweeted this on Twitter, and this is non-sports thing, but it is in any time I've asked this question, it's brought up really good discussion. So I want to bring it here.
All right.
So I saw a tweet that said, the greatest TV theme song show of all time is what? And so I stopped watching. I don't know what I was watching with my wife, and I asked her the question. We had like a nice little 10-minute dialogue about this. So I'm gonna ask you, and you can get 3 picks because naming one is really hard. Like naming the greatest TV theme song show of all time is incredibly hard. So I ask you, who you got? Greatest theme song of all time is what? Your top 3.
All right, so Fresh Prince has to go up there.
Okay.
Like West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Yeah.
That has to be one of my top. My second one, man, I might catch a lot of flack on this, but so what? I don't know why I like this. I don't even know why I like the show.
Yeah.
But I'm a Golden Girls fan.
Bam! Oh no. No, we here. We here with that. That's one of the greatest theme songs of all time.
That is one of the greatest theme songs of all time, bro. And nobody can tell me any different. So Golden Girls, and let's see. Third one, man, this is a tough one. I like Living Single, so I always like that. That's a smooth one. Living Single, like that. Yeah, they're about 3. I'm going with them.
Those are all ones that I have named. So I'm gonna try to not pick any of the 3 you just said. I'm gonna go Good Times.
Oh yeah.
Good Times is a big one. My bad, Shock. You don't like the conversation. You missed the Chiefs talk. We just be talking Super Bowl for the last 30 minutes. Get here earlier. Oh, but Good Times is number one, or is one of the ones. So I did not watch the show when it was out live. I watched it with my wife on Netflix when they dropped a couple of black sitcoms, but Half and Half theme song slaps. If you have not seen the Half and Half theme song, go check out. Like,
I'll check that out.
it's kind of like similar to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Once you've watched it a little bit, and once you know that mug, like every time it come on, you just start singing it. Like it's just infectious. It's a really good. It can actually be a real song. Like that's how good it was. So Half and Half is up there for me. And if I had to name one more, I'm gonna go Sanford and Son.
I can't be mad at that one. Yeah.
Yeah, like Sanford and Son, and you know it's dope because it has no words to it. But once you hear that, yeah, like you going in on that jump. So, like I said, I didn't want to name the three that you had, but I wanted to name like three ones that I think are dope and iconic. But yours, like we even get to Family Matters,
man.
We get to Cheers. I mean, it's so many joints, man.
Like a funny one, like that people had a big debate about. It was funny, was when Power switched their theme song up. And they went from was it who is it Trey Songz that sings it?
Trey Songz to Joe.
To Joe. And Joe's my guy. But it wasn't the same.
Dog.
Like, when you get dragged to the mud so much that they switch back to the old
one. They switched it back. Fam. Like I don't watch Power. I've never seen an episode of Power. And like I just remember on my timeline when they switched from that Trey Songz record to the Joe record, bro, it was like Showtime at the Apollo. Like they was calling for Sandman ASAP, bro. Like all I saw was, yo, where Trey Songz at? Man, get Joe out of here. Where Trey? And like the next week, right? Like they brought it back the next week.
The next week. It is so crazy because Joe is a totally better singer than Trey Songz, but on that record, it fits Trey more than it fits Joe.
Man, I had to one day I watch Power. It's one of those shows. I'm pretty sure. Well, I guess it's wrapped up now. They got kind of like the next chapter, right? Yeah, they got the next chapter with Tariq. But one day I'll watch Power, man. It's just never been a show that I got other things I need to get to first. I'll put it that way. But yo, man, that's our time, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in for us over this next hour and some change. Once again, please remember you can find every episode of It's a Black and White Thing by going to the podcast app of your choice. Rate, review, subscribe, share. The more you do that, the more the podcast is seen by more people. Same thing with YouTube. We appreciate everybody in the comments. We got comments from Periscope, from YouTube, from Facebook. We appreciate everybody who jumped into the comments. And like I said, with this new setup, hopefully you guys can see the comments in real time as they come across the screen. And we try to interact with those when we can. So once again, share this broadcast. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to edit this, so I might just throw this mug up like just unwashed, unedited. It just might have to go up on YouTube because my schedule is busy. Because this weekend I'm going to Oklahoma State. I'm watching Cade Cunningham, probably the number one prospect in the country. I'm watching Cade Cunningham, the Oklahoma State Cowboys take on the Texas Longhorns Saturday. So I might try to get on Instagram or Snapchat. I'm never on there, but I might get on there and do some stories and, take some videos and stuff from that. Once again, Rece, I appreciate you. Tell the people where they can find you and where they can find the podcast.
Appreciate you having me, man. Y'all can check me out. Follow me, Rece Nickelz, on Twitter. And you also can follow Talk That Ish Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook, YouTube, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Appreciate you having me. A1, Carlos, or Dan. And shout out to my homie A Ward. Way better than top 20. So y'all quit hating on my dogs. You feel me?
Yeah. Once again, shout out to A Ward. I am award.com. Everything A Ward related, from merch, music, battles. This weekend he's battling in Connecticut against Zethro, I think is his name. Shout out to Loso, everything Loso.com, battles, music, merch, Kings versus Queens 2 going down in a couple of weeks on URL and Caffeine. Until next time, it's been the black and white thing.
Find a new team, bro. Find a new team, Loso. The Vikings suck. All right.
All right, man. I appreciate you, bro. We'll holler at y'all next week. We might be back on Monday. Actually, hopefully we'll be back on Monday to review everything that's gone down with the Super Bowl and anything interesting over the weekend. And then after that, we might try to get some guests lined up. We'll see what happens. So until next time, y'all be safe out there. We holler at y'all, man. Appreciate it.